All right. Well, thank you again for joining us here at the 2023 Sloan Sports Analytics Conference, and specifically here in our Competitive Advantage Talks room, sponsored by KAGR, or Craft Analytics Group. My name is Leo Fondriest, and I'm a first-year MBA student at Sloan. And it is my pleasure to introduce Beyond the Beam inside the Sacramento Kings fan engagement strategy. Please join me in welcoming Colin Warner, Director of Business Intelligence with the Sacramento Kings.
Awesome. Thanks, everybody, for showing up. I'm really excited to share some of the innovative ways we're engaging our fans this season. And I thought I would, I don't have a clicker. But I thought I'd start by just setting the vision of, here we go, of Vivek Ranadive, our owner. When he bought the team, he used an interesting phrase to talk about the arena. He thinks of the arena as a communal fireplace, a place where people come together to be inspired as a community. And this became really tangible for me last year when the company actually gave every employee a fire pit to bring home with them, and etched in it, it had Golden One Center on the side, so that when you're at home and you're experiencing the fire pit at your own house, you're reminded of this vision of like, let's bring everyone together around something that they can be inspired about. So we kind of struck gold in our strategy of creating this place for everyone to engage, and with the Sacramento Kings Victory Beam. So you can see it here if you're not aware yet. For every Sacramento Kings victory this season, we shoot a giant purple laser up into the sky, and people have gone nuts over it. With minutes before a game is over, people start chanting, "Light the beam, light the beam." And as soon as the horn sounds, they rush out of the arena and they look up into the night sky, and they all continue chanting for longer than you would think. And so we're trying as a business to measure the impact of something like this beam, right? The team is finally performing, first time in 16 years that we're probably going to make the playoffs. And so it's hard to decipher what is the impact of the beam versus the team performance, because our KPIs across the board are rising. And so one way we can do this is through text analytics. So with our post-game surveys, we've started to analyze what comments look like from fans that involve the word beam. So one measure that we use is ZipsK, and ZipsK attempts to measure the prevalence of a word across an entire library of words. And so we've seen that the beam, comments that include beam, it's actually the 5th most prevalent word according to ZipsK in all of words being used. And then through sentiment analysis, we can see that comments using beam are most associated with the emotion of joy, which is something that we all want to be associated with. And then the graph on the right shows other words that are being used alongside beam in post-game survey comments. So you see words like loved, always, energy. Like, these are words that we love to see our fans utilizing. And then obviously they use game one basketball because we're lighting the beam every time we win. And then other ways that we see the beam impacting our success is through viewership, especially through the post-game show. This year we're ceremoniously showing the lighting of the beam anytime we win, and so we really feel like people are tuning into that post-game show because they're anticipating the beam being lit, and they're excited to be partaking in something that's happening at the arena, but they're able to experience it from their home. Another area, obviously, with the Kings performing so well, single game ticket sales are through the roof this year. But this is an area that we feel we've really set ourselves up well for success, just in what we've been able to do over the last few years. We've always seen our team as one that pushes the boundaries of dynamic pricing, as well as the level of granularity that we have in our building. And we actually went through a recent exercise with Craft Analytics Group where they helped us to kind of consolidate those price levels into 83 distinct price levels. And we think that that's really helped us this season to be prepared for the team's success and really take advantage of it. And then attendance is up 18%, but then once people are in the doors, they're really telling us through the post-game surveys that they're having an excellent experience. Our Net Promoter Score is up 46 points year over year. And then season ticket members, we recently heard back that we got a 95% overall satisfaction rating from our season ticket members. So for the remainder of the talk, I thought we would focus in on our loyalty program. And this is something that we feel is really driving that 95% overall satisfaction. So we'll go through a case study of our loyalty program, and it comes down to two key aspects. It's our Royalty Pass, which is an in-app and in-wallet card that gives people the ability to earn or to redeem rewards, and then our Fan Challenges program, which allows fans to engage with us in ways that we want them to engage and earn rewards while doing so. And then third, we'll highlight just the collaboration that I think has given us a competitive advantage just by the way that we internally, our departments are working together on this program, as well as having to work with external vendors. So I think many of us have seen slides like this in the past. Many of us are attempting to create a seamless guest journey for our fans, right? And this really stems from our vision for our app when we created the arena. We wanted people to use the app as kind of their remote control to the arena. And so that's kind of the vision that we've taken for our loyalty program is everything we do with our loyalty program, we want to make sure it's a seamless guest journey. So in 2018-19, we rolled out for the first time our King's Royalty Pass. And we created 3 versions of the pass based on color. The purple version is for our traditional season ticket members. The black version is for our premium season ticket members. And the gray version would be the version that everybody would have if they just download the app and they're not currently a season ticket member. And the early years of Royalty Pass were really used to start small and just do some testing to see what people like, what people don't like. So we started with our season ticket member base, and we really wanted to get them utilizing the program every time that they transact at our POS systems. So we give season ticket members $1 off every item that they purchase at food and beverage stands, and we give them 15% off of our team store. And we did small A/B testing. We would offer a $1 discount versus a percentage discount. We found things like fans really prefer a dollar value over a percentage, even though when we do the math, like a percentage is going to be better every time. They would still choose the dollar discount in those instances. And then we had to consistently demonstrate to our leadership that that people spend more money than the reward that we give them, right? So often at the beginning, it was seen as a cost every time we would give a reward, and it was difficult to convince people to give that reward. And so we've tried to demonstrate to the best of our ability that people actually go above and beyond. When you give them something, they spend more. So fast forwarding to today, this is what our Royalty Pass program looks like, including our fan challenges. And it's really grown from just a limited subset of fans to trying to reach all of our single game buyers and even beyond the arena, trying to capture information about our fans and allow our fans to engage with us. So there's several different ways that you can participate in our Fan Challenge program, including things like subscribing to a newsletter, entering a partner sweepstakes, completing a survey, but then also the ways that they transact at food and beverage and at the team store. And all of this really takes a team effort from not only us internally, but all of the tech vendors that we work with. Bringing together, Fortress is kind of the primary aggregator of the data that the fan sees in the app, but then they push that data to Lava once a challenge is completed, and Lava facilitates the redemption of the reward and the communication strategy. But then partners like Craft Analytics Group for data that's not directly integrated into Fortress. It might be in our data warehouse, and Fortress can receive that data directly from Craft Analytics Group. So this is kind of the goal, right, for one fan's journey. And this is a single game buyer that's purchased 7 single game tickets this season so far. And this is the level of interaction that we're looking for across all of the different engagement methods. So you can see this person, they've attended 7 games, they've played our predictive gaming platform in the app and gotten 72 correct answers. They've purchased 4 times at the team store, 4 times at POS for concessions. They've entered a partner sweepstakes. Like, these are probably things that many of our fans are doing already. It's now just incentivizing it in a way that allows us to start to understand who's doing what action and how can we personalize their experience based on what they're telling us they're doing. So continuing with this one fan's journey, these are the rewards that this fan has earned so far this season. They've earned 3 times they've earned different credit values at food and beverage stands. And that's key for us because one of our learnings early on was like last season, it would take much longer to earn a reward, and then we'd give them a larger sum of money. And we quickly learned that it's better to give smaller increments of value at a time so that every time they're transacting, they're spending more money with us. And then we've integrated partners into the rewards, like receiving $10 of free slot play at our Red Hot Casino partner. One initiative that we've launched this season is what we're calling our One Night Fan Challenge. So the goal here was to engage more people beyond the core group of fans, right? So somebody walks into the arena, they know nothing about our app, they know nothing about our loyalty program, and we'd like to encourage them to participate. So our One Night Fan Challenge is kind of a blitz into the market to try to see how many people we can get to download the app and utilize the program. So what we do is we provide a code that they can enter into the app to receive a reward, and we've tested things like not telling them what the reward will be and doing an A/B test of 50% of people get one reward, 50% get the other. And initially we started putting these on the Jumbotron, and we would just say, download our app, enter the code, and receive a reward. But our best version of this so far has been our integration into our Lunar New Year theme night. So recently we provided the instructions for downloading and entering the code via a red envelope as you walked in the building, and presenting that physical item really encouraged adoption, and people weren't just passively looking at the Jumbotron, they actually physically had something to work with. And the results here were really pretty incredible for us. We saw a 111% increase in unique fans transacting. We also saw a lift in just total revenue coming from loyalty transactions. And then one thing we gauge on our post-game surveys is the recall that people have for the program in general. And so we saw on the One Night Challenge for Lunar New Year an increase in people just knowing about the program and their recall of both the Fan Challenge and the Royalty Pass. So I wanted to walk through the collaboration that's taking place within our organization and with external partners. We really have had to put lots of dedicated resources on this program in the last couple of seasons. And so we really have focused on this kind of 3-step process, right? We provide reporting and analysis as a team, which hopefully helps to enhance our fan segmentation, and then provide a communication strategy that our marketing team comes up with. And it's really worked well for us. And recently, Craft Analytics Group provided a fan segmentation study for us that puts everyone in our database into a persona. And so we're looking forward to utilizing those personas to become even more personalized with our messaging. But this is an example, like we are identifying people that played our predictive gaming within our app. And if you answered 50 correct, you receive a reward. But we were finding people weren't continuing on to that 100 milestone. So we implemented an email goes out every Friday to people that reached that 50 milestone, nudging them along to continue to earn that final reward. And the impact here of our collaboration has been, it's exciting just to see the engagement with things outside the arena. So seeing 36,000 sweepstakes entrants for partners this season based on just incentivizing them as part of a fan challenge. 10,000 of those are net new to our database, which has been really impactful. We're seeing about 80 people new each game playing our predictive gaming, which has been exciting. And just overall usage of our app is up quite a bit. And then on the revenue side, a couple data points to call out. The 1.45 transactions per fan per game is something that we now get because someone is scanning a pass at POS rather than just transacting with their credit card. So being able to tie transactions to one another and see it as just a unified view of a fan's experience at the arena has been really valuable. And so we're able to see, we've created this royalty pass per cap as a metric we're using a lot now, which is at $22.69. So I wanted to dive into the royalty pass per cap now that we're able to tie transactions to one another for a single fan. So typically we see an average fan spends about $17 at the arena on concessions, but with a royalty pass transaction, that transaction value goes up to $19, with $15 of it being paid amount and about $4 of it being the value that we've provided them. But now that we know that people using royalty pass are transacting 1.45 times, it's easy to see that the per cap for somebody using royalty pass is $22.69, which is higher than our average. And there's reasons for that, right? It's a very engaged fan that's using the royalty pass. They're probably spending more money anyways, but it's a number that we are now able to, in future iterations of the program, try to impact, right? So we can see what does a one-night challenge do to the royalty pass per cap, and we can start to evaluate that. So what comes next with our program? We recently did some research. About 2,000 fans responded, telling us about their experience with loyalty programs and just in their everyday life. And we saw this number as an interesting one to create a goal with. So 65% of royalty rewards members in their daily lives are using their royalty program at every purchase. And that's something we're missing today. We currently don't incentivize somebody to use their pass every single time. They're completing fan challenges and then they receive a reward. Once they've used that reward, there's no reason for them on the next transaction to transact, and so we'd like to create ways to do that. And the primary way we see as doing this is creating a card on file, so allowing someone to add a card in the app, similar to the way that you see other companies doing this. And we see this as a nice next step for hopefully next season in order to start to incentivize people, reward them for adding that card on file, and then every time that they spend with that card, also rewarding them. So I wanted to highlight the team behind King's Loyalty. This is the group that we've been meeting on a weekly basis for the last couple years, and especially this year, lots of time and energy has gone in from this group. And I wanted to highlight just the buy-in we've received from our organization in providing resources for this program and allowing certain members of our team to really dedicate their job. Many of us on this in this group have, several other responsibilities, but having someone dedicated to loyalty has been really, really important, as well as the project management piece and having someone dedicated to project management that can help us keep track. And I want to encourage everybody the next time that you're out in California, if you're in Napa Valley tasting wine, or if you're skiing at Lake Tahoe, stop by Sacramento and check out the Victory Beam. Thanks, I'll take questions. What's that? Oh, yeah.
Hey, I was wondering if you've been using the app specifically just for loyalty, or if you're trying to find ways to break out to find and engage more latent and casual fans that don't necessarily consider themselves as loyal, would only go to a game once a year to find ways to get them more engaged, bring in that data.
Yeah, so finding ways to engage them with the loyalty program outside of the app. We've intentionally kind of made the decision to stick with the app. And you are able to, once you have the app, download that into your Apple Wallet, so you can utilize it that way outside of the app, but we haven't yet really found ways to utilize it outside of that, mostly because that's kind of how where we are presenting the fan challenges and how you track it, but it's an interesting thought, because it's a big investment to download an app, right? And it's hard to convince that many people to do so. threats to the app, I mean, that's a big one. Just the reluctance of someone to add an app to their phone is a big deal. I think, one of the main ones was just the cost of a reward and how do you deal with that. I think we've overcome that generally, being able to show that it makes a difference. Those are kind of the two that stand out to me. Yeah.
Hey, thank you. So just curious, how are you guys working to engage fans outside of Sacramento? One of my best friends is like a huge Kings fan, but he lives in Phoenix, and I don't know if that app would necessarily help him engage more with the Kings. So I'm just curious, have you guys considered that, and what would that look like?
Yeah, as far as the fan challenge program goes, like the predictive gaming would be a big piece of that he can go into the app and predict what will happen in the next game and earn rewards that way. Many of the rewards are, like you've seen, food and beverage and retail related. But I think as we progress the program, it will come up with more and more like partner type rewards that could apply to outside of Sacramento, as well as engaging in sweepstakes, things like that are the ways that we're trying to engage people outside.
Did you guys build the app in-house, or did you guys get a vendor to do it? And then also, were you able to kind of make the differentiation or whatever was it the beam, or was it the team performance that really helped drive loyalty this year? Are you still trying to figure that out?
We used raw engineering for our development of the app, and we still partner with them. Very difficult conversation about like what the impact of the team. It's the team that drives the ticket sales and all that, right? Like, let's be clear. The beam would have been really an interesting concept if we were still losing this season. We probably would have gotten made fun of a lot more than we normally do. So that drives success. But there truly is an energy around the beam that just like amplifies the excitement that people have in Sacramento, and just the national publicity that it's gotten. People talking it on national podcasts has really, I think, brought in excitement and drives people to buy.
Hi. How much of your customer journey is dictated by things like demographics instead of activity?
We don't use demographics all that much for personalizing somebody's journey at this point. I almost wish we would use it a little bit more and that we had the time to dive into it. I think the segmentation study that was just done to put people into different profiles or personas will help that. But today it's mostly based on their actions and identifying what somebody has done and then applying a journey to them based on that.
I know you were talking about trying to incentivize someone to use the app for every transaction. Have you thought about gamification and maybe basing like every time you buy food, you earn X points, and then once you get to X points, you get a reward or something like that to try to incentivize them to use the app every single time they're in the arena for purchases?
Definitely. Something like, buy 5 hot dogs and earn something else, or spend this amount of money and earn a reward. That's something that's definitely coming in the next year to 2 years. We've tested some of it, and it's just difficult sometimes with technology to make it all work, but it's coming.
Regarding the points themselves for the loyalty program, is there any handling for season ticket holders that can just bank points because they're way more than the average single game buyer? And how do you keep both parties, like a single game person and a season ticket member, involved in the program because they're just at such different engagement levels?
Yeah, we've stayed away from like points as we traditionally know of them, and we've stuck with sort of the fan challenge model. But the points valid. Like for one of our fan challenges is earning rewards as you attend more games. So the season ticket member will obviously reach those milestones faster and will reach more of them. So we have incremental, in order to engage the single game buyer, we have rewards at 3 games attended, 5 games attended, and then 10 games. So as somebody attends, hopefully the single game buyer is still getting something out of it, and the season ticket member is all that more, earns all that many more rewards.
So this creates a great profile
Lead scoring, I mean, we can certainly use many of these segments for leads. Predictive gaming, people that are engaging with the team every night and answering questions, we've certainly used in marketing emails for single game tickets. So yeah, we definitely look. And then I guess the biggest one is the partner sweepstakes. Everyone that enters their information there, we can decide to use in ways like a AI email campaign or something like that to get somebody to raise their hand as a potential ticket lead. Cool. Yeah. Thanks, everybody.